Right now at 10, State of the State. Governor Tony Evers outlines his plans for 2025.
And a focus on mental health, the multi-million-dollar proposal to combat the crisis.
Plus, a new railroad crossing grant for the city of La Crescent.
You're watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now at 10.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us for News 8 Now at 10. I'm Emily Brown.
And I'm Ken Kozarowski. 2025 is the year of the kid in Wisconsin.
That's the message from Governor Evers after his 7th State of the State address tonight in Madison. In his speech, Evers called on the Republican-controlled legislature to enact a wide range of proposals. Those include funding for child care costs and nutritious free meals to kids in school.
He called for efforts to lower the cost of prescription drugs and promised to veto any limits to reproductive care. Evers used a large section of his speech to talk gun control, calling for background checks and reinstating a 48-hour waiting period for all gun purchases. He mentioned the December school shooting in Madison and a former representative's death by suicide last year, saying responsible gun laws can help save lives.
This is Wisconsin. I get it. We hunt, we fish, we trap, and generations have grown up learning to appreciate our traditions. No one wants to change this proud part of our heritage, and we won't. But we do not have to choose between respecting the Second Amendment or keeping kids, schools, and streets and communities safe. We can do both.
Assembly Speaker Robin Vos gave the Republican response afterward. He said tax cuts will continue to be his party's top job as Wisconsin has a record $7 billion surplus. He called Evers' speech a long list of partisan demands that won't bring Wisconsin together.
Governor Tony Evers is proposing a $300 million investment in school mental health services. News 8 Now's Jeremy Wall is live in the studio with this story.
Well, Nancy Zars, a clinical psychologist, says the investment is crucial, especially after 2 recent school shootings.
The state of our kids' mental health continues to be concerning for me as governor and also as a grandfather.
An investment to expand mental health training and fund suicide prevention programs. Tonight, Governor Evers is proposing a $300 million investment in school mental health services. According to Children's Wisconsin Foundation, kids' mental health is on the decline. Forensic psychologist Nancy Zors says screen time is to blame.
And what you have there is excessive use. You have exposure to harmful content. You have unrealistic expectations.
Isolation and depression are other factors along with stress and trauma.
So with trauma, you're looking at that could be from abuse. It could be from neglect. It could be from exposure to adversity. It could be the death of a loved one.
Zors says parents should be aware of the increase in mental health challenges and have open communication with their children.
So if we can talk about the issues, I'm feeling stressed, I'm being bullied at school, I'm worried I'm not going to do well on this exam or in this class. And then if parents can say, what can we do to help? Is critical.
The proposal comes at a crucial time. Last month, 2 people were killed and 2 others were injured at Faith Abundant Christian School in Madison. Today, 1 student was killed and another one was wounded at a high school shooting in Nashville.
It used to be that we saw more of this mass violence in adult type settings. So we're clearly seeing an increase in school shootings, and we need to have a better sense of the why. You know, this is a multifaceted issue, so we need a multifaceted approach.
And she adds the money should also be used to destigmatize mental health issues and add more professionals to peer programs. Ken and Emily?
All right, thank you, Jeremy.
The Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction is going on a hiring freeze through June. The DPI confirms the changes and said in a statement that public education has been chronically underfunded. They point to the current state budget, which cut DPI funding by just over $2 million. Now, Republicans say that hiring freeze is a sign that DPI is on the path to financial responsibility. And the news comes as a Republican bill is poised to undo some changes DPI made last year to lower the scores needed on state tests to be named meeting expectations. Republicans say it's important to keep the scoring scale the same for the sake of year-to-year comparisons.
And that's really important when you look back at the pandemic, when we're trying to look at the effect of the kids that were, kind of lost in the pandemic to see if they've gotten back on track.
State Superintendent Jill Underly believes the previous scale was actually too strict. In a statement, she said standards have not been lowered. The department updated achievement benchmarks this summer in a transparent process and reflecting the recommendations of nearly 100 experts from across the state. Now, Underly has requested an additional $3 billion in the next state budget for public education.
Yeah, we still got some light snow that's moving across the area. Just went through La Crosse. Now it's mainly South La Crosse, but that's associated with a cold front coming through. Visibilities have dropped down temporarily to about 1 or 2 miles with this band. But otherwise, a lot of the rest of the area to the north have actually begun to see that snow push east. So that's pretty much end with. But right now, the main area really is along Highway 14, just south of La Crosse, just north of Viroqua. That is probably where you're seeing visibilities drop to maybe down to about 1 mile. Slick roads, a quick accumulation, maybe up to 1/2 inch is possible. That's really the main area overall. The bigger story tonight too is we're going to see decrease in cloud cover a little bit towards the evening, but much colder conditions too than we've had, at least this morning, but nothing unusual that we haven't saw in the cold snap. Some of the areas up to Ladysmith could get back into the negatives. Otherwise, the rest of the area probably in the single digits to around 1. There will be a wind, so the wind chill will be a factor as you wake up. Potentially some areas could be 15 to 20 degrees below as you wake up. The good news is this won't last too much longer. As you climb out, we're seeing temperatures climb back up to the 10. It will be colder tomorrow, but nothing like we saw earlier this week. Notice that wind chill will start to improve as we get closer to noon. Similar story to Eau Claire with that northwest wind dropping off. Plenty of sunshine, unfortunately only getting up to 6 degrees. Now, it is a cold Thursday, but the good news is it doesn't last too long. We got to have 1 day and then more milder temperatures on the way. So just hold on.
All right, good news on the way. Thank you, Greg.
New details in the fire at Shooter Showgirls last Sunday. After reviewing video and following leads, the Dunn County Sheriff's Office interviewed 25-year-old Colton Jansen of Comstock. Jansen admitted his involvement in the fire and was taken into custody. He is facing several charges, including arson of a building.
The city of La Crescent is receiving a $229,000 grant from the U.S. Department of Transportation. The money will be used to conduct a safety study on the city's rail crossings. It'll focus on reducing the number of crossings, adding new signals, and preventing trains from blocking roadways. La Crescent's mayor says railroad crossing traffic is especially concerning during the winter.
We've had situations early morning where a train is blocked and then that delays access to salt trucks for the state, and those salt trucks are used on the I-90 and in the city of La Crescent.
That study will take around 18 months to complete.
The DNR is presenting their findings of their Southwest Wisconsin CWD deer and predator study. The study shows the impacts of the chronic wasting disease on deer populations. CWD is a neurological disease that affects deer, elk, moose, and reindeer. Findings show the disease is reducing survival rates in deer. The agency says deer populations are likely declining where the disease is prevalent.
Today, UWL's chancellor delivered his opening address ahead of the spring semester. The address welcomes back staff and faculty. James Beebe also highlighted the school's recent awards and accomplishments and outlined some top priorities heading into the second half of the school year.
If you don't have a roadmap of where you want to go, how do you know when you got there? So having a plan that really people can get behind, they're excited about, is really critical for us as we think about where do we want the University of Wisconsin-La Crosse to be in 5 years' time.
Beebe also said that until the budget address comes out from the governor next month, it's difficult to tell what projects would actually move forward.
Community members were honored at the 38th Iverson Fracking Ecumenical Recognition Award Banquet. The award is given to people showing strong initiatives towards community building and fostering unity across religious denominations. Reverend Dr. Mark Jolivet and Mary Lichty were the recipients of this year's award. The award is named in honor of the late Carl Iverson and the late Bishop Frederick Fracking. A high school shooting in Nashville.
What we know so far about the gunman up next.
Winter is here, and with winter weather come accidents and mishaps. Whether you're on your way to work, walking the dog, or out on the trail, accidents can happen.
At Bygoff and Rohde, we help you get the settlement you deserve to put your life back on track.
Hey, Dominic here with a quick marinade using our Steak and Game Pleasing. Mix 1/3 cup of oil with 1 tablespoon of Steak and Game Pleasing. Brush on your beef or venison and let it sit for 10 minutes. Cook until done. For a delicious dip, Mix 8 ounces of cream cheese, a quarter cup of milk, 2 tablespoons of diced green onions, and a tablespoon of Steak and Game Pleasing. Get Steak and Game Pleasing and over 40 other blends at the Pleasing Outlet Store on Ward Avenue, La Crosse. It's a game changer.
What do we got? 25 years old, single-family house with classic signs of neglect.
They're acting up a few weeks back, making noise, and that was it. Not been this way.
Could have caught the warning sign sooner.
Should have called G&T, and this all would have been avoided.
I hear they're the best, Ricky.
G&T Heating and Air Conditioning. Calling us before it's too late.
When you're dealing with your own insurance company, you may think that they're on your side, but the truth is, they're not. They're only concerned about their bottom line. That's why you need to hire Bygott from Rohde. We get results.
One student is dead and another is wounded after a 17-year-old student opened fire with a pistol earlier today at Antioch High School in Nashville, Tennessee. Nashville Police Chief John Drake says Solomon Henderson shot 16-year-old Jocelyn Correa Escalante, killing her. A male student was grazed by a bullet before Henderson killed himself. The school had security officers on duty, but no metal detectors. This comes nearly 2 years after the tragic shooting at Nashville's Covenant School, where a former student killed 6 people.
It's impossibly difficult to be here once again dealing with the devastation of gun violence in one of our school communities.
A community healing event is planned. The school is closed the rest of the week.
NFL star Joe Burrow may soon get some of his stolen items back. A grand jury in Ohio has indicted 4 Chilean men connected to a series of thefts targeting multi-million-dollar homes. The men were arrested on January 10th in Clark County, Ohio, during a traffic stop. Police say they were in the country illegally and found tools used for breaking glass, along with items allegedly taken from Burrow's home on December 9th, the same day as the break-in.
Like, my privacy has been violated in more ways than one. We live a public life, and one of my least favorite parts of that is the lack of privacy.
Kansas City Chiefs stars Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce have also been targeted, as well as NBA players Mike Conley, Jr. Luka Doncic, Bobby Portis, and the NHL's Tyler Seguin. It's not known if those incidents are related to the Burrow case.
Well, some surprising news out of the White House reports that President Donald Trump might invite some pardoned January 6th convicts for a visit. Sources say administration officials are discussing it. The possible visit would also include meeting Trump. The president recently pardoned over 1,000 people who were charged in the Capitol attack, and they include nearly a dozen people from Wisconsin. Snow and fires causing disruptions for air travel.
But travel experts say spring break and summer plans are looking up.
And yeah, we have a little bit of snow this evening, but for the most of the pattern going into next week, it's fairly quiet. And better news, if you like mild conditions, it's looking mild or at least above average. We'll break down what the temperature look like this weekend and what it does look like going through next week. That coming up on your First Warn Weather Update after the break.
For a limited time, Hardee's is adding the rich goodness of maple flavor to our handcrafted favorites. For a sweet spot in your day all day, maple makes everything better, especially at Hardee's. And now enjoy breakfast till noon every day.
Susan Crawford. She's the prosecutor who locked up violent criminals, the judge who's kept them off the street, and the leader who fought for abortion rights. On the Supreme Court, she'll look at the facts and uphold the law. Fair, impartial, common sense. That's Judge Susan Crawford.
For me, being a judge is really pretty simple. There's right and there's wrong, and I'll always do the right thing for Wisconsin.
Out with the olds and in with the new at Wesco in Sparta. Grab amazing deals with discounts up to 50% off. Floor models, overstacks, and slightly blemished items must go. So incredible, even I can't believe the savings. Our team is ready to help you find the perfect piece for your home. Hurry, these deals won't last long. Head to Wesco in Sparta. Your home, your style, your savings, your Wesco. And remember to tell them Peyton sent you.
Wisconsin, one of those places where families spend their winters among frozen lakes and snow-covered hills. With all the fun they're having, it's easy to take for granted how they warm up by the fire or simply adjusting their thermostat. But for some of us, it's not that easy. Some of us need to decide whether to heat or to eat, or to further neglect our basic survival needs. We are working families, elderly, disabled, and veterans, all struggling to pay record heating bills. These dangerous temperatures aren't just uncomfortable for us, they can be deadly. If you are struggling to decide if you can put food on the table or heat your home, please reach out for a hand up. No one deserves to suffer when we can help each other.
Hardee's came up with the mushroom and Swiss burger over 45 years ago. Buttery Swiss and savory mushroom sauce on charbroiled beef. Here's to good things never changing. Hardee's, goodness in the making.
Is it time for new windows or doors? Contact the company who has done the research for you. The best windows and doors installed by the best people. Clear Choice Window and Home Solutions.
The news continues on News 8 Now. Expect more.
2025 air travel has been off to a rocky start, with snow in the south to fires in the west disrupting flight plans.
But for those looking ahead to spring break and summer vacay, the outlook is good, according to travel experts.
Karen Kafa runs down new rules and new travel tips from Washington.
During weather delays and cancellations, early birds may have the best chance of taking flight.
The aircraft is already at the airport. It's not running the risk of getting delayed coming in from elsewhere.
Katie Nastro of travel website Going says aircraft for early morning flights usually park at the airport overnight. That and a nonstop route could help minimize travel disruptions year-round. For travelers who don't have to fly during winter, skies may be smoother for spring. Even so, Nastro says airfares may tick up in 2025 as traveler demand remains healthy.
It's not a exponential rise that we're anticipating, a moderation really of what we've seen in the years coming out of the pandemic.
Sarah Kopit, editor-in-chief of travel industry news site Skift, says more flexibility can bring lower fares.
Connections you're willing to take, how, late or early, if it's really important to you, like maybe with a corporate traveler to fly in the middle of the day at exactly the time that you want.
And if an international trip is on this year's itinerary, Kopit notes recent changes to entry requirements for some countries. So take a look before takeoff.
Download those apps that the airlines have. They'll give you like a little bit of a checklist, but make sure you know what the country where you're going. Make sure you know what visas you need, what type of passport or identification you need to get into those countries.
In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
Well, over here, we had a little bit of a warm-up. Some
yeah.
snow, but guess what? We're dropping again tomorrow.
Hopefully it's just one day of that and maybe some spring-like temperatures afterward, Greg.
That would sound good, Greg.
It's definitely not going to last that long, this drop in temperatures, given the pattern is changing. And for the most part, all the way through next week, it's pretty quiet, really. The jet stream is going to go well to the north or well to the south, so it's going to keep us kind of westerly flow aloft, which keeps us pretty much mild, but quiet too, and that's the pattern too. The good news is we are in the coldest period of the year right now, and that's going to be ending probably as you get towards early February. That's when the average temperature is the lowest. It should be in the 20s, single digits. So once we get to about early February, it'll start then coming back up, and obviously it'll continue to rise slow at the beginning, but eventually all the way through about late June and early August. For tonight, we do have the snow, but it's pretty much ending. By the time we get to about 11, we should see a lot of that activity push south of Crawford County, Richland County, and Prairie du Chien, and that's pretty much it for really the snowfall. We'll see some clearing towards the morning hour, but still some areas of cloud cover. Temperatures are lowering back in the single digits. That doesn't take an effect the wind chill that'll be going on with this northwest wind. And the good news is there is going to be plenty of sunshine, especially towards the afternoon. On Thursday, unfortunately, that really won't change the temperatures that much. Wind speeds, they were kind of breezy right now, and through the early part of the night they will. By the time you wake up, they'll be back in that 10 to 15 mile per hour range. And then towards the afternoon, they'll kind of lighten up a little bit too. But all in all, they'll remain somewhat out of that direction. And that combined then gives you that wind chill that we're going to wake up to some wind chills that are going to be fairly cold, 15, maybe 20 below in the morning time, given that wind will be probably 10 to 15. Now, the temperature will rise and the winds will lighten up, so by the time we get to noon, those wind chills will be in the single digits, and then in the afternoon, probably above 0. Now, it is going to be cold going into Friday morning. We'll have clear skies, but there won't be much wind, so the actual wind chill will be the temperature. So that's really, these are the lows going into Friday, then the wind chill. Here's your highs for tomorrow. Definitely a drop from today, but nothing like we've had a couple days ago, too. Teens to upper single digits. And then as we go into Friday's low, as I mentioned, a very cold night given that clear skies, but then going into Friday, we'll get those temperatures back up into the mid-20s. You see the arrows coming from the south. We do have south winds starting to pick up. There'll be another system very similar to one that kind of came through today, approaching once again. So that'll keep the temperatures up. And in fact, it'll probably keep the temperatures pretty steady going into Saturday or even rising. So you'll be mainly around 20 waking up for Saturday. You'll be back in the 30s going on pretty much Saturday, above freezing for a lot of locations, and it gets even better. Now, we do have a warm front coming through. We might see a little bit of snow coming with it. Once again, similar, this thing's kind of racing through quickly, but overall we could see a little bit of snow with that, kind of similar to what we saw here, and maybe a little bit on Sunday given that. And you can see the temperatures behind that cold front on Sunday. They dip a little bit colder, but then they bounce back up. And next week, really, with the storm track to our northeast, we're going to have breezy conditions here and there, but milder conditions, and we likely will see some 40s here and there given that we have no snow cover. And I can't really see if anything even beyond potentially next weekend that's really significant weather-wise yet right now. So It's fairly quiet going even into the first part of February.
That sounds good.
Sounds fantastic.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Greg. Coming up next in sports, an improbable race. You won't believe what two Caledonia basketball siblings did last night against Chatfield. Plus, the UWL men's basketball team looking to protect home court against River Falls. Jacob is next.
It's out with the old and in with the new. You know what they say, new year, new you. King Furniture is celebrating the new year with special trade-in offers. Plus, get free delivery and 12 months, no interest payments. The King Furniture New Year sale going on now.
For the professional, it's not enough to possess knowledge. We seek to refine it, to wield its power, to redefine its boundaries. Knowledge is put to the test in every GMC Sierra. Get 0% APR on 2024 Sierra 1500 models. That's over $5,600 in average finance savings.
Visit your Best Choice GMC dealer today.
Attention business owners, start 2025 confidently with Your Choice Roofing, your trusted partner for commercial roofing solutions. Our expert craftsmanship and premium materials ensure a roof that stands the test of time. Don't wait, our schedule is filling up fast. Get ahead of the rush and secure your spot now to protect your building and your bottom line. Visit yourchoiceroofing.com today to get started.
At US Cellular, you don't have to choose between a great deal on the phone you want and the phone plan that's right for you.
You can get both. 4 free phones of your choice and 4 lines for just $90.
Wow, kids, that's like us not having to choose between tickets to wrestling or that puppet musical.
We want a great phone and a great plan too, don't we, little guy?
Get both. 4 free phones of your choice plus 4 lines for $90. No trade-in needed. US Cellular, built for us.
It's out with the old and in with the new. You know what they say, new year, new you. King Furniture is celebrating the new year with special trade-in offers. Plus, get free delivery and 12 months, no interest payments. The King Furniture New Year sale going on now.
Covering all the exciting action from your community. Here's News 8 Now Sports with Jacob Lenzendorf.
Well, since losing to #1 in the land 2 weeks ago, the UWL men's basketball team has gotten right back on track, winning their last 3. They were in action again tonight against UW River Falls. Falcons got the Eagles twice last season, so the home side not taking their opponent lightly. First half, it's Griffin Ginder getting the steal, takes a peek to see who's with him, decides to take it himself and scores. Eagles down 2. Then it's Dustin DeRusso making plays, feels the contact, throws it up, and it drops for the and one. Falcons had a lead for much of the first half. Zach Johnson sticks the triple. Away side goes up 4, but UW La Crosse would fight their way back into this one. Will Furman with the drive to the tin, hoop, and the harm. The Eagles pick up the win and move into a tie for first in the WIAC with a Platteville loss tonight. And the UW lacrosse ladies up in River Falls, and they make it a sweep of the Falcons on the day. The Eagles win the Battle of the Birds, snapping their two-game losing streak. Lauren Milne with 22 points and 10 boards. Malia Nelson adding 11 points. T-Wolves taking on the Mavs tonight, third quarter. Dallas on the fast break, and Daniel Gafford skies for the jam. But then Minnesota doing some damage at the rim themselves. Off the Anthony Edwards miss, Rudy Gobert gathers and slams it home to increase the lead. Then in the fourth, Naz Reid spotting up from the wing, and he connects on the heat check. He had 12 on the night. And then with 4 minutes in change, it's Julius Randle. He's going to bully his way to the cup. T-Wolves will sneak out a 1-point win in Dallas. And now the January 22nd edition of the News 8 Play of the Week nominees. And getting us going at number 1, off the steal, it's 2 points for number 2 of Toma, Brielle Kluger, who's going to take it all the way in for the layup. Notable for this one, first win of the year for the Timberwolves against their rival Sparta. At number 2, more hoops from last Friday. Alma Center Lincoln hosting Indy Gill. Great pass by Jace Paul to Jay Stetzer. Paul flirted with a triple-double, finishing with 14 points, 9 assists, and 9 rebounds in the Hornets win. Speaking of big-time performances, at number 3, how about Reed Klug of Caledonia with 27 points against previously unbeaten Mount Horeb at the Midwest Players Classic last Saturday. A sweet finish right here in the 70-59 victory. To number 4 we go, gymnastics action from Monday. It's Sparta's Gabrielle Björkman on the beam. The balance and body control on full display, and she would take second in all-around scoring at the meet in Holmen. And the girl that would barely edge her out for the all-around top spot coming in at number 5, Holman's Katie Lang here on vault, twisting and turning and landing with a 9.025. She would finish with 36.7 total points, and Holman would take the team title as well. So those are the options for this week. As always, to vote, head to news8000.com and under the sports tab, click on Play of the Week and pick your favorite. Voting is live right now, and it closes Friday at 5. You guys got to see this as well. So we just heard about Reed Klug, right? Him and his sister Aubrey both scoring their 1,000th points of their career last night. An amazing feat, but the most impressive thing is here, the buckets were legitimately seconds apart. The girls were at Chatfield, boys home against Chatfield, and their mom Sarah tells me she was watching her daughter's game on her phone while at Reed's game, sees Aubrey hit the 3 to reach 1,000, then she looks up seconds later, and her son also hits the 3 to get to 1,000. So it sounds like Sis barely beat her brother in the race to 1K, but just regardless, kind of a crazy story, right?
It's the timing.
Yeah, you don't see that.
Yeah.
It's such a rare feat in general for a kid to hit 1,000 points. So
Yeah.
definitely exciting for the family. But man, what a night.
Heck of a milestone, and it speaks to both of them having good high school careers to get to the same threshold at the same time.
Yeah, and she was telling me too, they didn't know how close they were entering the game, so it's kind of a surprise in the moment. So congratulations to the Klug siblings.
So cool, yeah.
Awesome. Okay, we've got more news right after this.
Dear Winter, our squad of vehicles with all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive is ready. Bundle up, Toyota.
Right now, lease a new 2024 Tacoma for $319 a month. Toyota. Let's go places.
This is the highlight of my day, but my hip pain made it a struggle. My personalized arch support system got me back in the picture.
Clinically proven to provide significant pain relief in only 4 weeks. Book your free fitting at goodfeet.com.
Brad Schimmel, prosecutor, attorney general, rule of law judge. Schimmel put pedophiles behind bars, took on criminal illegals and cartels, protected kids and seniors from abuse.
Law school taught me the rights of the accused, but justice for the abused is denied all too often. I'm Brad Schimmel. On the state Supreme Court, I'll apply the law equally, because everyone has the right to feel safe.
Schimmel, for justice.
You're thinking about new windows and doors. I've been thinking about new windows and doors for over 40 years. You're thinking about the best window at the best price. I'm thinking about the best window at the best price for you. The best quality, installed by professional installers at a fair price. If you're planning new windows and doors, you owe it to yourself to contact the Board Store Home Improvements for a prompt free estimate. You'll be glad you did. Contact us today.
Join News 8 now for the 102nd Annual Westby Ski Jump, January 31st and February 1st. Athletes from all over the world compete at speeds exceeding 50 miles per hour on the Olympic-sized ski hill. Visit snowflakeskiclub.com to buy a button today.
Dear Winter, our squad of vehicles with all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive is ready. Bundle up, Toyota.
Right now, get 1.99% APR for 72 months on a tough new Tundra. Toyota. Let's go places.
A little dessert tonight. Oreo is partnering with singer Post Malone for its next limited edition cookie.
Yeah, it's the first Oreo cookie with a swirled cream. Salted caramel and shortbread flavor creams are sandwiched between a chocolate cookie and a golden cookie. The cookies are engraved with 9 designs inspired by the artist, including vinyl records and a guitar pick.
It's the newest creation for the Mondelez own cookie, which regularly releases flavors to try to keep the 110-year-old brand culturally relevant. The limited edition cookies go on sale nationwide February 3rd.
A signature cookie by Post Malone.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
I know you love Post Malone.
I love Post Malone and I love Oreos. This works out.
I'm guessing it's because Post Malone can kind of transcend different genres, and that's why he gets the twist.
That's deep.
Perhaps.
That's deep,
Perhaps.
Ken. I think he just likes Oreos, and they're like, hey, you're going to make us a lot of money with this idea.
I have yet to have an Oreo that hasn't been fantastic. Like any kind of flavor they come up with usually ends up being delicious.
Oh, yeah. No, it's going to be great. I can't wait for it. I feel like I'm kind of dressed like an Oreo again
There
today.
you go.
All right. Greg has one final look at your forecast right after the break.
See the stories you missed or watch them again on our YouTube page. Or find us at news8000.com.
When I'm out in public and people ask me, like, how's the car business and how's Dahl to work for? And I'm a proud team member of Dahl Automotive, been here 29 years, and I send all my friends and family here, so obviously I know that they're going to be taken care of. And that's why I love working at Dahl Automotive.
We see you out there, giving your whole heart to what you do. That doesn't mean you have to give your whole wallet, too. It's why we make sure that as you find your way, you can find value along the way. Like 50-pound bags of Blaine's Black Oil Sunflower Seed, $19.99. $7 off select Neutrino Loyal Life puppy food. And save $130 on these men's Ariat boots.
That's what I'm talking about.
Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
Welcome to the rustic side of Black River Furniture Outlet, Western Wisconsin's Cabin Store. Buy unique, one-of-a-kind pieces made in the USA, featuring aspen, hickory, barnwood, and specialty woods like walnut and maple burl. Shop dining sets, bars and bar stools. Find epoxy pieces, coffee and end tables, cabin furniture bedroom sets in king, queen, full, or twin. Bunk beds and case pieces to match. Huge selection in stock to take home or deliver today. Family and veteran owned, Black River Furniture Outlet, Black River Falls.
Jolivet Family Farms, known for farm fresh fruit and vegetables, but featuring so much more. Come see all that we have. Homemade bakery, large selection of locally produced honey, gourmet popcorn, craft beer, wine, and cheese, meat and seafood, arts and crafts, and so much more. There is no substitute for homegrown freshness. Open daily year-round. Jolivet Family Farms, West Salem.
In the hunt, every detail matters. It's not just about the thrill, but a passion for the craft. And in the end, it's about the people you get to be with. At Overhead Door, it's about our team and those we get to serve. We can repair any garage door, but we only install the best. Overhead Door Company of the Seven Rivers region since 1921.
My reputation is that people know I'm here for them, that I'm not going to guide them to the car that's going to make me the most money. I'm going to guide them to the car that best meets their needs, and they know I'm going to be fair with them. And that's why you should shop at Dahl Automotive.
Fortunately, the dreaded sub-zero wind chills are back tomorrow. The good news is that won't last too long, but it will be cold Thursday. Good news is Friday, warmer, and the rest of the forecast period, pretty mild conditions, or at least above average.
Hooray.
Everyone say happy birthday to Emily.
Happy birthday. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Thank you for joining us tonight.